This one is not really the most interesting topic, but we got to get into it because we're breaking this all down. What happens if Naoya Inoue beats Luis Nery?
Womp womp. Because, I mean, listen, this is what we think is going to happen. But, I mean, we'll have to talk about the other side, which we will in a few minutes. But Naoya Inoue wins this. I do wonder, like, this is an interesting what's next scenario because we all think at some point, and reminder that this is in defense of his undisputed super bantamweight championship, undisputed in multiple weight classes. Another thing that's just like ridiculous. Inoue is 31, and I do wonder now that he's in his prime, how long will he extend his prime? When will be the point? Because we were asking these questions about Canelo Alvarez. It's like if he's not going to win forever, and he did just lose to Dimitri Bivol a couple years ago, then there has to be a fall off at some point. It doesn't feel like Canelo's quite there yet, but we've seen a little bit of signs of it, not stopping John Wright or whatever. And I wonder when's going to be the first sign for Inoue where it starts to slip a little bit. I don't think we're there yet. I think some people were like, hey, Marlon Tapales actually lasted 10 rounds. And it's like, Tapales is tough, bro. And it's not like he was winning a bunch of rounds in that fight either. I think we each found like a round or two, maybe tops, that it seemed that Inoue took off, but this is not a fight that I project that he's gonna take off rounds because there's a level of personal in this one. And I think with Inoue, when is he gonna get to featherweight is really the question for me. So in terms of what happens next, when is he going to take those challenges at 126 pounds that we all feel like he's capable of getting there and thriving, especially since I don't think that weight class is that great. Like, I think he can beat everybody at 126 right now.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about this, Brian, is that you talked about like if there's going to be a fall off at some point. Inoue's only 31 years old. Like I feel like he's in
Yeah,
his prime right now.
agree.
I feel like that's not going to happen just yet. For me, I also believe he can beat anyone at 126 pounds. So obviously, if he continues to go on this magical run, and if he ends up destroying Luis Nery, which is a possibility. And listen, we're gonna get into Nery too. We're not sleeping on him because he's one of my favorite boxers. So I'm going to get into the ways that he could also win. But I know it's Inoue at this point, right? So when I take a look at the 126-pound division, a couple of names stand out to me: Ray Vargas, Lee Wood, Brandon Figueroa, possibly, right? Because we know Figueroa is fighting this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and you also have like Ray Ford and you have Luis Lopez, like guys that I all think Inoue would beat. If I'm being totally honest.
I think so. I think so as well. So it's just like, when I take a look at Inoue and I take at the 126-pound division, I think he gets through a lot of those guys. I know that he keeps on moving up a weight class and like just killing that weight class. But I think if Inoue beats Luis Nery, which is a name in this division, don't sleep on Nery. He doesn't have all the hype around as other fighters do. But the fight that I want to see, and listen, everyone talks about Tank and Ryan Garcia. Well, why doesn't Tank come down to 130 and Inoue go up to 130 and we see them fight at 130? Because that is the fight that I would want to see next. That would be a blockbuster fight. Would you not want to see that?
The thing, I don't expect that we will, but sure, like if Tank could still make 130, which I don't know that because he fights at 135. A bunch of us think that he can get to 140. He just for whatever reason has said he doesn't feel comfortable there following his easy victory over Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if Tank, like, and Tank is someone who's an Inoue fan. Like he has said this in the past.
He has said that he would likely be interested in a fight. Now, will that actually happen? Because people talk a bunch of stuff in boxing
Yeah.
and it never happens, it never goes down. But if I'm talking about a dream fight, I think that would be my dream fight, other than Canelo and Bud. And if we
Yeah.
got to start the conversation within the boxing community, right? If we got to start this in the boxing community, like just like in rap beef, I feel like Joe Budden stirs the pot. Like, if I want to stir
Yo,
the
okay,
pot,
yeah.
yo, let me see Inoue and Tank, because Inoue is running through these weight classes. Also, by the way, guys, please leave some comments. We are going to be getting to your comments. This is an interactive show, but
Yeah,
that's what I would kind of look towards because I feel like he's gonna continue this streak. And we're gonna be extremely impressed with him. He's gonna move up to 126 pounds, and then he's gonna start dominating there. And then it's like, what's next? What's the next blockbuster fight? And for me, it would be Inoue and Tank. Will that fight happen? I don't know, but I'm extremely interested in it. So before we move on to the next portion, because I don't know if you have anything more to say.
I do.
Okay.
So it's like it's really a testament to one how good Inoue is that we're like, hey, can he fight the best lightweight in the world? Can he fight Tank? And it's also a testament to like how much we think he will go through 126. And honestly, if you look at 130, which is probably where he tops out at, in my
Yeah.
opinion, I don't think he'll get to lightweight or whatever. I mean, I'm not going to say never, but 5'5", 67-inch reach, you probably want to top out at like 126, 130. The best super featherweights in the world are who? Emmanuel Navarrete, Oshaki Foster, Oscar Valdez. Like, there's size disadvantages there, but we would all favor in a way in terms of technical ability. So I think that's why people have said, like, hey, could he fight Tank? Same thing with Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Literally the same thing. Because what if we talked about on this show? Hey, the super welterweight class is kind of weak. The class at middleweight is kind of weak. So can the best super middleweight fight the best welterweight in like meeting in the middle type of thing, because this is what the state of some of these weight classes are. I do think super welterweight's more interesting now because Terrence Crawford is going to be there. He's making his debut in August. Errol Spence is planning on being there. And I think Boots Ennis, while he's at welterweight now, he probably will be there at some point relatively soon, relatively after some more time in welterweight, some more fights. And you still have, guys in the super welterweight division who are competitive. And Sebastian Fudora has a title now. That's interesting. Tim Tszyu is still a threat. He's going to fight Virgil Ortiz. That's going to be a
Whew.
ridiculous fight. But yeah, in a way, I think what's next for him is just trying to like, can he become undisputed at featherweight? Is what I want to see the most. Can he do
Yeah.
it in 3 weight classes?
Yeah, because if you think about Inoue and how dominant he's been on his run, there is going to be a size advantage that comes up at some point. And you mentioned if he moves up, like you might want to top out. I think he might want to top out at 126. 130, I feel like is crazy pushing it. And we saw what Canelo tried to do against Bevel, right? And we thought Canelo was just going to run through these weight classes. Like weight classes are there for a reason. And so when you mentioned Emmanuel Navarrete, who is, defensively irresponsible at times. The only fight I want to see him fight, this is off topic, is him and Shakur Stevenson. And until that happens, I don't know. But for Inoue, I want to see him in Tank, and maybe they can meet at a catch weight. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do feel like he would have success at 126. But one thing at a time, he has to get past Luis Nery.